For the last 12 years, the mercurial has really created a legacy of defining innovation in football. In 1998, Nike revolutionized the concept of speed in football with the first generation boot. Then in 2002, we launched the lightest and fastest boot on the market. At the same time, we paved the way for colour in football boots. Then in 2008, we launched our lightest boot ever, which incorporated an engineered carbon composite plate. Then last year, 2009, we launched our first composite upper with flywire technology. Let's fast forward to today, as tonight I'm going to unveil the next generation, the Mercurial Vapor Superfly 2. But before we get into the boot, I'm going to take you through Nike's design process, which we split into three simple areas: discover, design, and deliver. The most important factor in the discover phase is the athlete, and everything at Nike begins with the athlete and how we can improve their performance. I'm really lucky. I get to spend a lot of time with some of the fastest players on the planet. For example, when I'm in Milan, I go around Pato's house and we talk football and football boots the whole night, and I can really get a deeper understanding of really what his needs are as a player. And last year, I spent around 65 days with players like Didier Drogba, Cristiano Ronaldo, Theo Walcott, and obviously Pato. And from all those meetings, there come some common themes. Things like first-up acceleration, forefoot traction. They also this idea of this kind of beautiful fit, this great fit, as well as aesthetics as a performance factor. But that's not all. We also go beyond the athletes. We use science to complement the input we get from the players. We use our Nike Sports Research Lab in the US, as well as key research partners, to really deep dive into the challenges that players are put through in the modern game. For example, around the 2006 World Cup, we did a slip analysis of 63 games. There were 845 slips, which is around 14 per game. Of those slips, about 30% on that very important first-up acceleration, and 49% during deceleration or braking and changing direction. We all know that one slip can win or lose a game. We also know that acceleration is the most frequent action in a football game. It really highlights the importance of creative design to create the fastest boot possible. Everyone knows that pitch conditions also vary. You can have some pitches with shorter grass, some with longer grass. Pitch can be wet, pitch can be dry. Also, the weather has a massive impact on every game, as we all know. So I was talking with Cristiano and Zlatan about what is that perfect traction. And both had a similar point of view. The idea of security with a screw in, it makes you feel secure. There's this feeling of nimbleness and agility that comes with a molded plate. What we don't want to see is this. This is actually Cristiano out the game, on the sideline, changing from a molded stud to a screw-in stud to get more traction. So with all that information, it's time to shift to the design phase. After all, the brief is really simple. Make a boot that's really fast with the ball, with an enhanced fit, feel and touch, and takes traction to be improved in all conditions. And finally, leverages colour as a weapon. So the design started with re-engineering the flywire upper. From the Superfly that's been on the pitch this last year, we've evolved the cable pattern to be a much more football-specific design. We've increased the density of the cables really around the forefoot to lock the foot to the plate. That increases the efficiency and therefore increases the speed. At the same time, we've separated the cables in the midfoot. That allows an increased range of motion. That basically helps us create this idea of an engineered second skin. Also, with a change in the cable pattern, the composite upper has also been refined. We've reduced the number of layers, we've increased the durability, and we've maintained that beautiful mercurial touch in the ball. But before I move on to the upper, I mentioned earlier that mercurial has really revolutionized the use of colour in football boots. And it's not just the colour. I'm talking with Didier Drogba, and he's a guy who keeps every boot he's ever played in as a reference. He was explaining to me about these orange vapours, saying those orange vapours, they engaged his teammates' peripheral vision much quicker than normal, creating a true performance advantage. So our new design takes that insight and inspiration and takes colour to be a true weapon to the player. So So as you can see, every part of the shoe is really addressed. Even the composite plate has been reconfigured with a stiffer midfoot to increase response and increase that heel-to-toe transition, which just makes a faster boot. Also, when it comes to fast, science tells us that a small change in traction makes a dramatic impact on speed. For the new Mercurial, we've actually redesigned the traction system from the ground up. We're going to introduce a new tri-blade stud. We've also brought traction to the toe of the boot, the last point of contact between the player and the ground, and that all-important first step. All designed in the lightest way possible to make the most frequent action in the football game even quicker. But that was not enough. We've taken traction one step further. We've taken inspiration from the fastest animal on the planet, the cheetah. And nature has informed the design of our new traction technology. Now, the cheetah runs an amazing 70 miles an hour and has unique biomechanics that allow it to go across different terrain while focused on its prey. Just imagine if we could replicate that in a football boot. The boot adapts to different playing conditions and allows the player to really focus 100% on his game. And that is exactly what we set out to design. We knew the difference between a firm ground or a molded stud and a screw-in stud is around 3 millimeters. So if we could just create an independent stud that could actually move 3 millimeters, we could create a traction system on demand. That sounds really simple, but believe me, engineering a moving stud with all the constraints of a football game is no easy task. We started by creating some design concepts that could be engineered, made and tested, and it took literally about 5 major steps. The first ones obviously didn't quite work like we wanted to, but we learnt with every step, and the end result is the most advanced stud we've ever created. The adaptable technology literally adapts to different playing conditions, step by step. And it has that ability, literally, to extend up to 3 millimeters. That's the difference we outline between a molded stud and a screw-in stud. And it does that by using the pressure of the player combined with the interaction of the pitch. It's basically, in a firm ground condition, it's just a normal boot. But in a softer or wetter conditions, that stud has the ability to extend. It has that ability to extend on each step, increasing at every step of that player's keeper at its fastest. So after a long and very exciting creative journey, I'm very proud to be part of such a brilliant product. I know from spending so much time with the athletes, this is really going to help and elevate their game. So let's shift to the deliver phase. Here it is, the Mercurial Vapor Superfly 2.